What is going on, guys? Trench's Fleet here, back at it again with another video, and we got a good one for you today, guys, because we did not have to wait a full week for the second Bad Batch episode. So excited to get into this discussion. I'm joined once more by GleppsGaming.
What's up, guys? Excited to be joining Trench's Fleet for this video. And check out the GleppsGaming channel. We're gonna get some new stuff up there soon.
Oh yeah. Also joined by our good friend Brandon, he's going to be appearing in one of the Battlefront 2 videos coming up. We're still working on editing for that. But Brandon, how we doing?
What's up, Fleeters? I don't have a channel, but excited to be here today to talk about this.
Oh, for sure. So, guys, we're going to be talking about episode 2. What was it called again? Cut and Run. I'm just going to be giving our thoughts, theories, and general ideas on the episode here. So, first off, guys, what was your impression of this episode? What did you guys think?
I really enjoyed getting to see the family dynamic develop a little bit. I liked that it was half an hour. First of all, I expected a 22-minute episode like Clone Wars, but having a full half hour was pretty nice. But I enjoyed it overall. It was a pretty happy episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good foundational episode. I mean, when looking back at Clone Wars, I'm sure there's episodes like this where, there's not as much action that happens, but they're like foundational to the rest of the story. And so I feel like this will be a similar episode where we can see like what happens later on. We can tell the dynamics earlier on, and it'll be good to look back on too.
Right. This was not necessarily one that was like really pushing the story. I mean, in the first episode we got spoilers, by the way. Obviously there are going to be spoilers in the discussion, but in the first episode, we got Crosshair betraying the Bad Batch. We got this whole Order 66, the Empire's Rising thing, and this one definitely slowed things down a lot. But I think it was a good move because, as you said, Gleps, this really set up the family dynamic, particularly between Hunter and Omega, but really, the entire. I felt like Bad Batch is like you guys know that movie with Tom Selleck where it's like 3 guys and a baby or whatever it's got. Like I feel like it's that. It's like these 4 like soldiers are taking care of this little kid. It's like Omega has like 4 dads. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And but particularly with Hunter, like it's like not only is he growing as a leader, but now he's learning how to be a parent, basically. And I think it was a really, not like I loved it as a Clone Wars fanboy to see Cut Lawquane. We got that prediction right.
I think that's why Cut's there.
Right.
I think that's why Cut's there, because we had that little cut scene where, no pun intended there, we had that little scene there where like Cut kind of takes over when Hunter was about to like kind of console Omega, and like Cut kind of takes over and does how he knows how to parent, because he's already is a parent. And so I think that's why we had Cut in this episode, and probably just to appeal us Clone Wars fanboys too,
right? But
to show that like this is kind of what dynamic we're going for.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought I was here for it, but I'm like, this is so random. Like, of all characters, they're bringing back Cut Lawquane from this one episode of the Clone Wars, but it really made sense with the story, because it's like, okay, they are trying to find this like safe haven for the time being. They go meet up with another deserter clone, and he has his own family. And like you said, it's like that almost served as like an example for what Hunter needed to be considering when he's taking on Omega as part of the squad. So I loved it as a Clone Wars fanboy, and I also loved how it worked as part of the story as well. And it was also really interesting starting to see how the Empire is starting to push their propaganda. They're like, oh, everybody must have an identification code or whatever, and it's like, I feel like every stormtrooper at some point is like, oh, let's say some identification. And it's like we're starting to see the beginnings of the oppressive regime that the Empire is,
It makes me think of Starkiller Base too, like how people have compared that to like World War II and the Nazi regime. It's like we're seeing some sort of like more ground roots kind of examples of that here. We're just a random small town, probably I think it's in the Outer Rim somewhere, or at least not anywhere sort of any main planet, but the Empire is still kind of taking over everywhere that they can.
So we got a little bit of good action.
We did, yeah. The action remains, and like once again the animation. I remember, Brandon, you commented on the dust, like the environments look so good, and I also love how Omega, like they made a point to show like, hey, Omega's literally been living on Camino her whole life. She's never seen actual ground before, like just the dirt. Like it was so. It like reminds me of when Rey leaves Jakku and goes to Takodana. She's like, wow, I've never seen this much green in the whole galaxy. Like, it's crazy that some people are on their little confined planet for so long, and they're so surprised by just a different environment. And like, I thought it was a great contrast, but because Camino there's not a lot of color, not very vibrant, and then we come to this completely different planet, and I think that'll be a really cool aspect of the show. Jumping around from planet to planet, we get to see all these different kind of environments, get to have all these different like vibes going on, and that was a cool part of the Clone Wars. And honestly, I mean, this really just felt like another episode of the Clone Wars, and I thought it was great.
But speaking of Rey connections, we want to talk about theorizing about Omega.
I think we do. I mean, I'm always down for a bit of theorizing. So Gleps and I were talking about this last time, about how we're still not entirely sure if Omega is a Jango clone or like some other clone. They haven't confirmed necessarily. So since we were talking about it last time, Gleps, what do you think? How has your theory advanced a little bit about Omega's force sensitivity or anything like that?
See, my theory, I was really thinking we were going to get the exact same thing as the Mandalorian episode 2, where we were faced with this big creature, and then the child comes in and uses the Force. I thought the exact same thing was going to happen here with the cat fox thing.
Same.
And then that didn't happen, so I was kind of surprised, honestly, by that not happening. So
I think they're also hyper aware. Like they have to know.
Her specialty is the Force, but I'm not entirely sure when we'll see that or how it'll manifest.
Right. Yeah, they're holding off. They're holding off on showing exactly what Omega's thing is, and all we have to go off of really is her interaction with Crosshair in the prison cell. This was more so a character development episode, I think, and building the dynamics between these characters. But I mean, it's great to see that they're willing to bring in these random Clone Wars characters. Like,
yeah, I mean, one question I had was, is Cut gonna come back? Just because, I mean, they're treating him like they did in the Clone Wars. Like, are they just gonna give him one episode similarly, or are they gonna build character out because he is like a deserter like they are?
Yeah, that's a good point. I could see him coming back, right? But also, like, I kind of see him as just like probably sticking with his family. His whole thing is he deserted the army. So I think he'll probably hang back. I think they brought him around to further that family dynamic that they have going on. What do you guys think about next week? Like, what do you think this set up anything, like either for next week or in the long run? What do you guys think?
I'm really not sure if this set up much. I definitely think that now we'll sort of move into the more story part of this. Hopefully we'll start to learn a little more, because we got a little bit of learning with that episode, not a ton, but I'm hoping that next episode is more story focused, since this one was more character focused.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, I'm sure it will be. I'm sure that we'll, because I mean, even though there was some action in there, I mean, you knew what was going to happen. Like, they wouldn't take some sort of dramatic turn, I don't think, this early. And so I think we'll start to get some more action, or probably something a little more dramatic that we're not expecting as much within the next couple episodes.
Right. And yeah, this really was kind of a cool down episode from the series premiere, because that one, whole lot of stuff happened. So this one really just, and I appreciate that it did slow down, let us get to know these characters a little bit more. But in terms of the overall story, just definitely demonstrating the Empire's grip on the galaxy and how they're really starting to expand out. And I think we were talking about this before. I think in the long run, I'll toss out this theory. In the long run, I feel like the Empire's going to start using stormtroopers and, decree the clones useless or whatever, like gone. I feel like there's going to be some sort of like massacre or something. We do not see a lot of clones at all during the time of Rebels, for example. We only see Rex, Wolf, and Gregor. So I feel like something is looming for the clones. We see them now basically acting as stormtroopers for the Empire. But yeah, something tells me Tarkin is gonna just dump them super quick for stormtroopers, and so that's my, and I think the Kaminoans will be involved with that. I think that's my like theory for where this show exactly is going, and I could see the Bad Batch almost being like a symbol for the clones to like retake their independence, stand up for themselves. Anyways, just tossing that out there because. You know what? Why not? Might as well see if we get it right. So
yeah, I really like what I really appreciate about this show in this episode. Really kind of solidified that they're making the show very easy to watch if you haven't seen Clone Wars, and yet it's more rewarding if you've seen Clone Wars and Rebels.
Yeah, for sure.
They talked about who Cut Lawquane was before we got there, but we know from Clone Wars we've seen the episode with Cut Lawquane, so we've gotten to sort of know him a little bit. But you could just as easily come to this episode without having seen that before.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I think my biggest question is what's the bigger battle going on here? How are you going to build a whole series out of 5 characters if it's just something like that they're going against, like they're constantly going against the Empire. Like 5 people are not going to take down the whole Empire or even get close, and so I think we have to see some sort of like larger character or group come in that really kind of provides just a dual side for it.
Right. And it is reminding me a lot of The Mandalorian, especially the first season, considering, I don't know I think Moff Gideon showed up in like the last 2 episodes or something. So definitely taking some time to explore the galaxy in this new time period and just to further develop these characters. And, I have no doubt that the hardcore story elements are going to be coming pretty soon. So awesome. Well, any last thoughts you want to get out to the people, guys?
I love you, Fleeters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good to see you again, Fleeters. I think I have no more closing thoughts.
Awesome. Well, guys, be sure to let us know your thoughts about this second episode of The Bad Batch down in the comments. Be sure to go subscribe to Gleps Gaming and...
Just comment in the comments. Say hi to me.
Be sure to leave a comment saying that you appreciated Brandon being a part of the discussion. Guys, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.